All right, today we're diving into something huge for education in Zimbabwe, a plan to get thousands of rural schools connected to high-speed internet. But, what happens when you give a school a super powerful satellite dish and pretty much nothing else? Because as you're about to find out, the real challenge isn't just getting the connection, it's everything that has to come after.
So this is the big question, right? The government has this incredible goal, connect 8,000 rural schools. Just take a second to think about that scale. But the real question, the one we're digging into, isn't just about getting a signal. It's about how you turn that raw signal into a safe, reliable, and actually useful digital classroom.
And this, right here, is the key. You see, just handing a school a satellite dish is a bit like giving someone a high-performance engine, but with no car attached. Sure, the dish provides the raw power, that incredible connection, but it doesn't come with the safety features, the reliable fuel source, or, the steering wheel needed to make it a useful educational tool.
Okay, so to really get why the rest of the car is so important, we have to back up a little and look at the incredible opportunity that kicked off this whole conversation in the first place, a major government initiative that promised to connect the nation. So back in January 2026, the government made a massive announcement. They were going to deploy 8,000 Starlink kits from SpaceX to schools all over the country. I mean, this was a huge leap forward, promising to bring modern online resources to students who had been on the wrong side of the digital divide for way too long. And look, the vision here was absolutely monumental. This wasn't just about kids being able to check their email. It was seen as a truly transformative step for the nation's students, a way to unlock a whole universe of educational resources that had just been completely out of reach. But as exciting as that promise is, it's really only half the story. Because, like we said, the satellite dish is just the beginning. So let's break down the crucial missing pieces of the puzzle. This slide just lays it all out perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got what Starlink delivers, that raw, blazing fast internet connection. But on the other side, you've got everything else a school actually needs to use it. Things like safe, filtered access, stable power, network management, and even just basic security. Without bridging that gap, the whole investment can't really pay off. So you've got the connection. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as it turns out, quite a lot. First, you absolutely need content filtering. You can't just unleash the entire internet on students, you have to create a safe digital space. Then there's the huge challenge of reliable power. In a lot of rural areas, the grid is shaky at best. If the power goes out, the learning just stops. You also need to manage the network, control who gets access. And finally, all this shiny new equipment is valuable, so it needs physical security to protect it from being stolen. Okay, so with all those problems on the table, a really smart, comprehensive solution was proposed. The idea wasn't to just patch one hole here or there, but to provide a single, all-in-one package that turns that simple Starlink connection into a complete school-ready system right out of the box. And it's called the Pre-Configured Network Package. Basically, think of it as a school network in a box. This kit is designed to plug right into the Starlink dish and provide all those missing pieces we just talked about. The goal is to make the connection not just fast, but genuinely safe, reliable, and easy to manage. First up in the box, you've got the networking gear. This is the hardware that actually creates the school's local Wi-Fi network. We're talking routers, switches, and access points to cover classrooms and even outdoor areas. And the best part? It's all managed from the cloud, which makes it super simple to maintain, even for a school in a really remote location. Now, this component right here is the real brain of the operation, the E2Gate box. This little device is both the brain and the shield. It's what provides the advanced content filtering to keep students safe online. It's the firewall that blocks outside threats. And it has this really brilliant feature called intelligent caching, which saves common websites and videos so they load faster and can even be accessed if the internet connection temporarily goes down. Pretty cool, right? And what about that power problem? Well, this package tackles it head-on with a complete solar system, including a big battery for backup. This makes sure that everything, the Starlink dish, the routers, the cameras, the whole shebang, keeps running 24/7, completely independent of the local grid. This means learning never, ever has to stop due to a power outage. And finally, to protect this whole investment, the kit includes 2 high-res security cameras. But these aren't just any cameras. They have night vision and use AI to specifically detect people, not just, a tree branch waving in the wind. And they can send alerts straight to a mobile app. This gives you round-the-clock protection for all that vital infrastructure. On the technical side, the system is really smartly organized using something called VLANs. Just think of them as separate private lanes on the school's new digital highway. There's a lane just for the network gear to talk to itself, a secure one for teachers and staff, a heavily filtered one for students, and even a limited one for guests. It's a simple way to keep everything secure and running super smoothly.
So that's the what, an incredibly complete package. But how would you actually get something like this deployed all across the country? Well, the proposal lays out a very clear step-by-step rollout plan.
The whole thing is designed to happen in stages over 21 months. You start small, with a pilot phase of just 10 schools. That lets the team test everything out and iron out any kinks. From there, it expands to a regional level, and then finally moves to a much wider nationwide rollout. It's a really careful, phased approach designed to let them learn and adapt, which helps minimize risk as they scale up.
So what does it actually cost to fully equip one school with this entire package? Well, the total hardware cost comes in at just under $6,300. That's the investment needed to take one of those government-provided Starlink kits and turn it into a complete, self-sufficient educational powerhouse.
So where does that money actually go? Well, as you can see, over half the cost is for that EGUJ box, that critical brain for all the filtering and management. The next biggest chunk is the solar power system. This really shows that the priority is squarely on making the network not just fast, but safe and incredibly reliable. Now, when you scale that up across the proposed phases, you can see how the total investment grows. It starts with a pilot of about $68,000 and goes up to over $1.4 million for the full nationwide phase. All in all, this initial proposal aims to get a total of 260 schools fully kitted out.
But, just looking at the numbers and the hardware only tells part of the story. The real goal here isn't about routers or budgets. It's about the real-world impact that this kind of infrastructure can have on students and teachers on the ground.
So what's the true impact? Well, it's about so much more than an internet connection. It's about creating a safe, filtered digital classroom for every single student. It's about guaranteeing that learning never stops because the power is always on. It's about protecting that long-term investment with solid security, and ultimately, it's about building a digital ecosystem that's sustainable and can be managed for years to come. At the end of the day, this project isn't just a simple add-on to the Starlink initiative. It's the key that unlocks its entire potential. It's about transforming a basic satellite connection into a real, solid, and durable foundation for modern education in Zimbabwe. And that leaves us with one final, really big thought. If this model, pairing raw connectivity with a complete package of power, security, and smart management, proves to be successful, could this become the blueprint for bridging the digital divide in schools, not just in Zimbabwe, but maybe across the entire continent?